Hey y'all, I felt like today was a good day to jump on and do my first video. I think sometimes it's nice to switch it up from writing a post or maybe reading a post, and I wanted to quickly tell you a bit about why your greatest destiny is so important to me and how I got here. But don't worry, I'm gonna try and keep this short. So from early on, I always knew I wanted to help others in some way, shape, or form, some capacity. But my own struggles with severe depression and anxiety really led me down a dark path, both outwardly in how I saw the world and experienced it, but mostly inwardly in how I saw and treated myself. So I did seek out, more conventional forms of therapy. I saw counselors, psychiatrists, worked with specialists with, unfortunately, very little to zero help. And so this is not to say that these forms of therapy are not useful and beneficial and important, because they absolutely are. I'm just speaking of my own experience and what impacted my journey, which was that I felt really misunderstood. I think because I was so young, there was a lot of assumptions made, and there wasn't really any work around figuring out the root. It was more like treating a symptom, less about figuring out the why, and nor the how to get through it, move past it. In my experience, there was a huge focus on figuring out a label or a diagnosis, but less about moving beyond it. So needless to say, my struggles really continued into my early 20s when I finally started seeking out more holistic types of practitioners. So I saw energy healers and intuitive counselor, spiritual counselor type, hypnotherapists, and life coaches, intuitive coaches. And all of these modalities were what finally hit home for me. I felt seen and heard for the first time in my existence. And honestly, I think there's so much power in that. So I was finally okay, I think I'm not crazy, which was my word that I used for myself at that time to describe myself, because I felt so alone in my darkness. So they helped me to, heal trauma and heal pain, which was what made it actually possible for me to change my beliefs in my subconscious mind, to change my perceptions and how I saw things. So honestly, this shift for me was monumental. It was so huge. I literally think of it as moving from dark to light. So these were the things that became the perfect combo for me for change, because it includes the mind, body, and soul for that healing and transformation to actually happen. So when I realized change is possible, even with a diagnosis, I became even more passionate about helping others in this way to feel seen and heard and acknowledged, understood, and frankly just not alone in our journeys, because I really think that that's what it takes for us to live our greatest destiny, our truest potential, our most fulfilled lives. So whether that's, a small transformation or change that one might be seeking, just to live our most brightest versions of ourselves and our lives, or maybe it's an overhaul, like me, dark to light. Either way, I just want you to know that change is absolutely possible. And I'm so lucky because I get to do the thing that I love the most, which is to go with people on these journeys, guide them through their transformations, and be witness to it. So, okay, this is mildly longer than I hope, but I really appreciate you listening. And please share, if you've been through something similar, if you had a similar experience than I've had, or if you just have any questions about, coaching, hypnotherapy, anything like that, please just shoot me a DM. I'd love to connect further. And yeah, I hope you all are having a most beautiful day. Ciao!